case you hearing any of the chitter chatter or the rigmarole, one of them mad because I really was digging her, but every time she had a need, and sometimes, most of the times it was a want, she would call and get it from her ex-husband. And he had clothes in her house. So I was like, man, I'm out. And so that's why she run around talking crazy, you heard me? And then the other one, she just mad because when I first met her, I told her what I was about. And I told her that I had a couple priorities in my life. One of them, my daughter, and the other one was my struggle. And played for a long time, like she understood that, and like, you know, she was a part of the same mission I was on, you heard me? Like it was a joint thing. And then one day just told me, why you got all these kids sleeping in the living room? I'm like, man, I'm a mentor. That's my basketball team. She was like, but you gonna be doing that the whole time we together? I said, yeah. She said, well, I don't know. I said, well, guess what? I know. And so with both of these women, and it's a couple more, but with both of them, I swear, they ain't spent a dime. Every time it was time to drop anything, I pull it out. They tried to, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they was using me. I was just showing them the respect level I had for what they was bringing to the table and keeping it 100. And showing them I wasn't that atypical what they be talking about at the hair salon, you heard me? Like what my daddy and my papa showed me how to do it, right? And so, you know, what I'm really just venting about is I just left Jefferson Parish Court with a client. And I can't talk about the specifics of my client's case, but I can tell you this. I'm sitting there and I watched more than one case. And what I noticed that they used on every brother was that, you know, he didn't have enough money, and that when the relationship went awry, he went home to his mama. One lawyer stood in court today and said his mommy, like it was a ridicule situation, right? And I'm like, damn. That same lawyer standing there defending a mama with her little boy, but teasing a man for when he had his rock bottom going to his mama for support, right? Just seemed like a contradiction to me. So I wanted to say that even though there is a bias, even though we can't get a contempt order ordered on a female when she's denying a court order to let a man just see his son for them 2 days out the 2 weeks, for them 4 days a month, and then we see all the punitive damage our sons receive, and then everybody blame the daddy. Well, where was the daddy? Well, even when it's functional within the court structure, the daddy only gives 4 days out the month to co-parent. That's not co-parenting. If you only own one share of AT&T, how much control do you have in AT&T? Let's keep it 100. And so what I want y'all to know is in a city where they're telling us 68% unemployment for black males, in a city where we know abject poverty affects every black citizen, they're telling me that a black man that has a strong bond with his mother, and that's where he would go when his relationship goes awry and he needs to get back on his feet, that's debilitating for him because they mocked it in court today. And another issue was that for every one of those family court cases that I saw, there was a smear campaign, just like against Trayvon Martin, for this man not to be able to see his son. And I didn't see either lawyer substantiate with proof or documentation anything. Just flat out the bat. Come out saying, this man's a liar. This man's a liar, a liar. Said it 2 or 3 times. And then didn't substantiate anything. And when the black man who was when a black man who was, defending himself objected, the judge just looked at him like he was crazy and let the man keep talking. So I'm just trying to tell y'all, we sitting up arguing with other black people about Biden or Trump and don't even realize that don't even affect your everyday life, like these judge elections that we have coming up. And also, I used to think my mama was so dramatic about this statement, but I'm going to retract it today. Everything that I ever said to my mother regarding Jefferson Parish, she was right. I have had an AR-15 pulled on me with a red beam and put to my head in Jefferson Parish in the last year. I have just watched mockery in the courtroom regarding black boys and how they will be handled. And these black boys are growing up in Jefferson Parish that is in return gonna slam them in just about 5-10 years. One little boy said today on the camera he doesn't want a relationship with his father. And when asked why, he said because of all the conflict that his father's having with his mother. But he ain't had a child yet, and he ain't realized the pain of not knowing where your seed is and how your seed is doing, but still sending child support payments. You heard me? Because that's all that we're seen as, is either you can send some dollars or you can't. But your insight, your experiences, your heuristics base, none of that will be applicable for your son in Louisiana or in any other family court structure in the South or anywhere else that I've been, actually. So I'm just letting y'all know we have inherent problems within the criminal justice system, within the medical system, within the financial system, and they all are only pertaining to us. This is not just a which party is in control issue. We're gonna have to do some serious introspection, because until we all develop disciplines that deny us our desires for the sake of our children's desires, we're going to have problems. Generational wealth is not leaving your child a property that they can out-tax them with or gerrymander them out of. Generational wealth is us developing a community that will support your child having that house and dictate the discretion over it. And we're all individually shooting for these goals and not understanding that by one person can be destroyed. Dr. King, Michael Jackson, Prince, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, Bill Cosby. And just for the record, I think Bill is sick, but he ain't do nothing no different than the rest of them cats at the Playboy Mansion was doing, is my point. And his blackness got him sacrificed. And so my point is, we need to start listening to people who participate every day. The case I'm working on today, I'm not making money off it. I did it for free. It wasn't motivated by my capitalism or by any need I have financially. It was motivated by me needing to thoroughly understand the process that subjugates me so I can understand how to defeat it. Period. And so with that being said, I went in there today on them, cleaner than any lawyer in there, and ain't even a lawyer. And I'm not bragging. The point I'm trying to say with that is, how can you look at a brother denying the system to the fullest and still attaining everything you want materialistic out of the system, right? And not understanding that the way you going about it is stopping us all from getting it. So Somebody heard me. I'm ignoring the phone call. I'm about to go get it. But I'm going to tell you, all they see black men for is, can you make that payment? And that ain't for the support of your child. That is to give you a criteria to raise to so they can disqualify you. No, you can't raise your son. So the dude brought his daughter, the case I watched that I was not related to, the dude brought his baby mama to court for contempt charges, which I've been involved in multiple times, and I've never seen contempt filed on a woman because he ain't seen his child as court ordered every other weekend for 4 years, except for when the mama get ready. So he brings her to court for that, right? The final question is, by his lawyer, why are you stopping your kid's father from seeing his son? She says, because the man keep calling the police. But the reason why the man calling the police is because he's been denied the visitation. So that's what they used against him for him to lose today. And so y'all say, where the black daddies at? When they go looking for their children, it's called stalking and harassment by law in every jurisdiction in America. If you don't live with them every day, whenever they decide that's what they want that to be, when you go to their school, when you go to their house, their complex,